What fashion lessons can we learn from Trump's visit? Nancy, London. Well, none from Trump himself, other than the obvious when meeting the Queen. It is best not to wear a suit that looks as if you found it at the bottom of a dry cleaning pile, and, for the love of God, button the jacket, man. Look at the state of you. As for Melania, well, after last month's jacket gate, when, for her visit to incarcerated migrant children, she opted to wear a jacket with a timeless, moving slogan on the back, "I really don't care, do you?" She opted for a less wordy wardrobe on this trip. Her long, yellow dress by the ultra-pricey designer brand J. Mendel prompted some wits on social media to compare it with Belle's gown in the animated Beauty and the Beast, further prompting them to suggest she was implying her husband is a monster. Which is all rather amusing, except that the Beast is actually good and smart and selfless, so that's where the analogy collapses. It seems more likely that Melania was reverting to the look her fans like most, which is that of a high-maintenance, uber-feminine princess, exemplified by her refusal to take off her ridiculously high stilettos, even when playing bowls on the grass in London. And, really, who even knew that was possible? It's funny how Trump fans insist that they like the Trumps because they seem so real, while at the same time preferring them when they look most like parodies of tasteless rich people. It's sort of like how, on the one hand, Trump's defenders claim he's so smart and, on the other, insist any moronic mistake he makes prove he's just a regular guy. But, truly, fathoming the doublethink of a Trump supporter is beyond my pay grade. One person, however, who seems to have mastered how to handle Trump has been on top form over the past week. One who really knows how to get the better of him without even noticing. No, I am not speaking about Vladimir Putin, but someone who may well be the greatest political mastermind of our age, our one and only Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen shows Donald Trump where to walk during the inspection of the guard at Windsor Castle. Casual royal observers such as myself barely noticed the Queen's fashion choices during Trump's visit, because we were too busy cringing at Trump's behavior around her. Whether you give a fig about the royals or not, and I come very much from the no-fig end of the spectrum, watching Trump galump around in front of her, get in her way, and generally act as if she wasn't even there was, just on a human level, throw up on your own shoes, nauseating. She's a 92-year-old woman, show her some respect, you giant Oompa Loompa. But, of course, expecting thoughtfulness from a man who, earlier this year, was photographed holding an umbrella over his own precious head, leaving his young son exposed to the elements, brings to mind words such as blood and stone. And the Queen, wisely, appeared to expect none either, because it turns out she was sending us all coded messages via the medium of her brooches. Yes, her brooches, read on and bow down in awe, James Bond. Twitter user @SamuraiKnitter has pointed out that on the first day of the Trump visit, the Queen wore a simple green brooch that was given to her by the Obamas to signify their friendship. On the second day, she wore a brooch given to her by Canada, a country with which Trump is less than pleased at the moment. Also, it was in the shape of a snowflake, a classic Trump term for people who disagree with him. And, for the last day, she chose a brooch she wore to the funeral of her father, so not one associated with happiness and joy. Queen's brooches, 3. Trump, 0. Is this all reading too much into it? Well, it is known the Queen does choose her brooches according to the theme of the day, such as the love knot brooch she wore to William and Kate's wedding. And, let us never forget the exciting time last year when, to open Parliament, she wore a hat bearing a striking resemblance to the EU flag. Has the Queen been trying to talk to us all this time and we just didn't notice because we know she's not allowed to make political statements? But what if she's been sending them to us through her wardrobe? My God. I hereby declare that, like the British government, we all take an early holiday and spend the next couple of weeks combing through photos of the Queen, reading the runes of her twin sets. It's okay, guys, the Queen is totally going to fix Brexit. Share the brooches.